Now, our debut edition of our new weekly Ag Weather Watch. This will be a weekly feature throughout the spring, summer, and into the fall, where meteorologist Kenny Miller will dive into and assess the overall agricultural situation across the state.
Ag Weather Watch on KX is sponsored by United Agronomy.
To start things off, let's take a look at some recent numbers from the latest crop progress report. This graph here shows the 4 different crops that farmers have began planting this season. We have barley, corn, oats, and spring wheat here. We're looking at a comparison between 2023 and this year, 2024. These blue bars down here represent the percent planted at this exact time in 2023, where our orange bars are the percentage of crops that have been planted so far this year. With each crop, particularly spring wheat, we've seen a higher percentage of crops planted across the board compared to this time last year. So that's certainly good news for trying to get overall higher yields at the end of the day here. In fact, 20% of this year's spring wheat crop is already in the ground. Definitely a high number for the first week of May. So next, let's dive into some soil and rainfall numbers. This next graphic shows the total rainfall amounts received in inches across the state during the month of April. The blues and the greens here in our central locations represent some pretty good rainfall across the state in the last month. And as you can see, we're lagging in that northeastern corner and out towards the west, where we've seen less than an inch of rain over the last month. Definitely less than ideal heading into the planting season over the next month or so. And of course, this is reflective in our latest drought monitor index, where we see those drought concerns again in our northeastern and far western areas. In fact, the areas in northeastern North Dakota have been in that moderate to severe drought for quite a while now, dating back to the late fall and winter. Things definitely look good, though, for our central and southern locations. We're sitting basically where we want to be moisture-wise, heading into the heart of our planting and growing season. This next pie chart here shows the overall current condition of the topsoil across the state. This data comes from the weekly USDA crop report, and it states that 66% of our topsoils have an adequate amount of moisture for planting, with roughly 30% falling in the short or very short category. The percentage of our subsoil moisture that falls into the adequate category is even lower, coming in at just 58%. This is because most of our state's crops are grown in that northeastern pocket of the state, where coincidentally we have the biggest drought concerns right now. So 30 to 40% of our soils in the fields across our state are showing those moisture deficits as we ramp up into our planting season. So what needs to happen to alleviate these concerns? This next graphic comes from NOAA, and it gives us an idea, roughly speaking, of how much additional moisture or rainfall would be needed to completely ease our drought concerns across the state. Now, of course, the most concerning areas in North Dakota are in those northeastern areas, and those areas fall into the 6 to 9 inch range, meaning basically we would need a half a foot or more of rainfall to get us out of the drought that we've been seeing over the last several months in those locations. Obviously, getting all that rainfall at once would cause much more harm than good, leading to flooding concerns and a lengthy delay in our planting. So it's going to be a struggle to help balance getting that moisture while not disrupting or damaging the planting already taking place. Here's our expected rainfall outlook for the next few days across the state. Now, this graphic includes this past weekend as well as the first few days of this upcoming week. Much of our state falls in the 1 inch plus range as far as rainfall, with most of that likely coming Monday into Tuesday. Now, these rains will certainly help maintain our current soil moisture levels that we're seeing across the state, but we likely will fall short of improving the long-standing drought concerns that we have, particularly in those northeastern areas. So definitely look for a slow day of planting on Monday with those rains, but dry weather Tuesday through Friday should help more crops get planted. But as of this update, it's unlikely to see any notable changes within next week's drought monitor update. We will, of course, be providing that update for you at the same time next week, giving you all the updates, data, and information you need for the week ahead.
You're looking good there, Kenny. Be sure to tune in again next week. And of course, keep watching for your full forecast with Kenny this week. Coming up